Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here. Do you see this happy face? I'm very happy and excited goose today. Oh gosh, I shouldn't call myself a goose because Chef Matt might cook me. But I'm so excited to have back, I would say in my kitchen, but in my blue layer, I don't know. I'm excited to welcome back Chef Matt. Hi, Chef Matt. How are you today?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm actually still in shock that you're speaking to me after I made you watch that disaster with Love, Meghan. Are we still friends?
We're besties. We're
Okay,
we're doing
good.
we're doing all right. We're doing all right. I really enjoyed it.
Good. I'm so glad. Again, apologies to you for that, but I'm so glad that you're back. The reaction anytime you come on now has been just incredible. I'm so thrilled, and you're wonderful, and again appreciate your time and all that.
I was blown away by it. I genuinely didn't think anybody would really care about my opinion, and then it was like I started reading the comments, and I was just like, it's so humbling when you read the way that people think of you. It's very heartwarming.
It is, but I'm not shocked because you are wonderful, but I'm blown away by the comments. I think it's fantastic. If you guys don't know, this is Chef Matt's third appearance on the show. He's also in the With Love Megan. We did a Chef Reacts to that, and then we broke down Instagram with Gwyneth and with Megan. So again, Chef Matt, thank you so much for being back. Now, as said before, Chef Matt doesn't have public social media, and he's understandably a private guy, so he won't give specifics, and there's not really anywhere we can follow him, but we are trying to pressure him to start a channel. So any more thoughts on that? You kind of talked about that last time. You're open for it possibly as a teaching tool, I think you said.
Yeah, I want to pass my knowledge on, and I think that if people have got a thirst to learn, I think that if I can be any help with that, I think it can only be a good thing. So I'd quite happily do something like that.
That's wonderful. So guys, if you want him to start his channel, why don't you leave him comments below and let him know, and we'll definitely pass those along to you, Chef Matt. That's awesome. But again, I always ask you, but if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your experience, just so people know. I don't know you can't give specific places, but just so people know your background. So that way I don't call myself Chef Jen, you know. I don't have the background.
we should we should do this instead of me starting a channel like once a month. You should just do like cooking with Jen, and
There you go.
then I can just be like a guest every month. It'll
But
work out quite well.
I don't want you to have a like a freak out because I can't cook to save my life. So
Oh, it'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be funny.
that would be fun. I would love to have you on anytime. Yes, you can tell me all the crap I'm doing wrong. That sounds fun. I have a kid to do that, right? But Chef Matt, tell us a little bit about your background if you don't mind.
So 23 years experience, it's
Mhm.
always been a passion of mine. Like ever since I was a child, I was always fascinated by food. I think there's something absolutely amazing about it. But what I noticed from a very young age was that food brings people together, and it's that really it made me thinking of, like, this is amazing, because like all of your good memories when you think back, and there's foods involved in so much, like special occasions, birthdays, people, family members or friends that you haven't seen for ages, and like, you meet over a meal, or you invite them round to the house, and it's just a magical thing, isn't it? So
Mhm.
it fascinated me, and then I got into it seriously, and I've worked my way up, and I've worked in some really good places. But throughout my career, I've always worked alongside chefs that have taught me so much.
Mhm.
And you've got to embrace that knowledge, and you've got to absorb it, and you've got to retain it, so that you can pass that on to the next generation, which is something that I do on a daily basis now.
That is amazing. Wow, that's so cool. Well, I can't wait to use your 20 plus years of experience and your expertise and your you're all that to judge what we're about to watch, because I think your head's going to explode.
I think it might.
All right. So if you don't mind, I'm sorry to do this to you. I feel like I'm wasting your knowledge on this, but shall we take a look at what's going on here? So I actually can play the sound on this one. This is from Meghan's Instagram, so I'm gonna let it play through. We can watch it real quick, and then we can go back and I'll mute it and we can react if you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for the video. What did we just watch there? I'm ready to lay down.
It makes me sad.
Yeah.
This is what 23 years of experience gets you. Like,
I know. It makes me sad, and I have less than no experience. What's going on? What is this?
I don't know.
It should be noted this was for St. Patrick's Day, so I'm guessing, I'm
So
hoping that's why it's
we've gone green.
I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. Yeah. So what are your just initial thoughts? I'll just let it play in the background. Anything that comes to mind, go for it.
So straight away, if you look what's going on in that first 10 seconds, you've got we're whisking this green batter but like we've got all of this batter all up the sides of the bowl, but we're not doing anything about those. But you can see that throughout the sides there's all these big lumps. You know, if you look on the left hand corner, these big lumps that you can see that need to be addressed. In the same respect, you can see that as we're whisking, you can see that the bowl's moving around, so it's almost moving as we're whisking. Like ideally, we'd be putting a cloth under the bowl. So if we roll up a cloth and we make like a little trivet out of a cloth on before, and then sit the bowl on, that'll stop that bowl from rocking. Which is a really nice little trick. You know, if you're doing something where you haven't got both hands spare, as a general rule, you just hold the bowl and whisk, but it looks like she's recording while she's whisking. But then you've got this bowl movement, which isn't great. But I mean, ultimately, a nice spatula to scrape down those edges so you can incorporate all of that mix would have been great. It's not a good color, this, is it?
It's really not appetizing. It's not. No, it's not. It's
No,
not
I can only presume from a pancake point of view. I can only presume that this is being colored using something like a spinach, but it's been badly executed. You know, like.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. This is kind of a weird question, but the only thing I could figure, and I'm just guessing, she is actually going to be selling a crepe mix. Because it's referenced on her As Ever website is this crepe mix. I believe, if again, I don't know what I'm talking about, you can use a crepe mix to make waffles. It's almost like she's merching herself with this, but it just is that's a whole other layer of what? Why would you do that?
So this is one of the interesting things that made me want to do this, because there's so many different variants, isn't there? So you've got pancake, you've got like an American pancake, then you've got Belgian waffles, and you've got American waffles. You've got all of these different variants. As far as pancakes go, pancakes as a crepe, there's 3 ingredients. So you're looking at flour, eggs, milk.
Okay.
That's it. Mix it up. That's a crepe. It wants to be a very, very loose, very thin batter, and that's what gives it that beautiful texture. And that's how you get this very thin, very there's no rise, you know, very super thin. A crepe, you should almost be able to hold it up, and you should almost see daylight through it. Okay. when you talk about waffles, or when you talk about like an American style pancake, what
Mhm.
you would do is you do something very similar, but you'd add melted butter. But as a raisin, it needs a raisin agent when you're talking about a waffle or an American pancake. Like, waffles originated from Belgium.
Mhm.
From Belgian waffles, they use fresh yeast in their
Mhm.
waffles. When the Americans got hold of it, the Americans started putting baking powder into it. Where
Mhm.
baking powder is amazing for adding air and adding volume and adding little air pockets throughout the dough, which is fantastic. Um, I can't decide on this because this doesn't seem to be any of the above. We haven't seen enough of the video to be able to say it's one or the other.
Yeah.
The thing that worries me about it is that either way, whether it was baking powder or whether it was yeast, from a waffle point of view, that would need to sit on the side for 20 minutes before it was cooked. That
Okay.
would give it so the baking powder would have time to activate.
Mhm.
And you'd see when, if you left it on the side, you'd almost see slowly over time, you'd see these little bubbles rise to the surface. That's when
Mhm.
you know when it's good, that it's good, and that you can start using it and you can start cooking with it.
Mhm.
So I think that this is what you're saying. I think it's definitely some sort of a packet mix. I think we've just added some liquid to it and we've mixed it up, but I
Mhm.
don't think it can be a crepe batter because but when you get to the end of the video, you can see it is quite a light batter and you can see these pockets. So
Uh-huh.
it would suggest to me that it is some sort of a packet batter.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. All right. So I'll hit play.
Later
Uh-huh.
on, we might find that Megan introduces a waffle batter mix.
It could be. There's just no rhyme or reason to any of the products she launches, and as far as timing goes. So it wouldn't shock me if that was the case. I mean, she'd have out a crepe mix now and a waffle mix. I don't know. Can't make it up.
I'd be interested to know what coloring we've used to make it green. Whether we've used some sort of synthetic food dye
Mhm.
or whatever it was.
Right.
Um, if it, from my point of view, if I was going to do something along these lines, then I would use a spinach.
Okay.
Spinach is absolutely amazing for coloring food.
Mhm.
It's full of it's got all these amazing benefits. Spinach, hasn't it? So
Mhm.
it's good for your eyesight. It's good for your bones.
Mhm.
It's full of all these amazing vitamins. It's got loads of magnesium in it. It's full of zinc. It's got all these really really good properties, and like it's got loads of really good health benefits, and it's supposed to ward off all these different horrible diseases, which can
Yeah.
only be a good thing. But then you look at spinach. If when you do it, you'd blanch spinach in boiling water, or you'd saute it very very quickly with a very
Mhm.
small amount of water towards the end, and then you puree it. When you
Mhm.
cook spinach, it releases. I mean, this. I'm doing this off the top of my head. I think I think the term is chloroform, and
Okay.
it releases when it's cooked. It releases this, and then when you puree it, that's where you get this intense, amazing color. So, like, I mean, years and years ago, we used to make um, things like leek and potato soup, and leek and potato soup can always be very pale, can't it? Well, just before we served it, we used to throw a handful of spinach into the soup, and we'd immersion blend it. And as soon as the spinach got hot, it released this vibrant green color. So
Wow.
the leek and potato soup looked absolutely amazing.
Uh-huh.
So we do use spinach all the time, from a color point of view.
Mhm. That sounds delicious. I wanna eat that soup.
Yeah, it's
It
really good.
does.
Really, really good.
That actually sounds appetizing to me versus whatever we're looking at in this bowl. Yes. Yeah, huh. Okay, so I'll hit play. Tell me what else you notice as we go. I mean, just I think you're exactly right. Again, not knowing what I'm talking about, but the whisking, missing chunks of it. You got chunks around the bowl.
You just scrape down the bowl.
Mhm.
If you are in a position where it looks like she's filming this herself now,
Sure.
but later on it looks like somebody else is filming for her.
I believe so.
But I mean, if you are filming this little bit, you'd just put a cloth down, or
Mhm.
you'd try to stabilize that bowl a little bit.
Yes, even if you like, again, home chef, don't know what I'm doing. If I held my body against it just to brace it or something while I'm filming.
Like, you could just push your boobs into it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, you just
I
do
mean,
it.
that's my cooking
Yeah,
strategy for
exactly.
everything.
Yeah. Just
That's right. That's for my OnlyFans channel, yeah.
then just drizzle your hair over the top of it.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, yeah. That's Megan's cooking strategy, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I'm actually surprised she didn't take advantage of like a child's hand to hold it or something. I don't know. Like she likes to stick those kids' hands in there. Weird. Okay, so I'll hit play. And then, so
Just not a good color.
not a good color
It's
at
just
all.
really, really the color.
Yeah.
If you was going to do something for St. Patrick's Day,
Uh-huh.
and that was your only goal, you'd make sure it was a good green, wouldn't you?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
this is the thing that upset me about the spinach, because if it is spinach is
Mhm.
so amazing, and
Uh-huh.
and the color of the pancake should be the color of a spinach leaf, because
Yeah.
spinach is that good if you
Mhm.
use it properly.
Absolutely. The other thing that popped in my head that's really popular is that is it spirulina? Is that how you say it? That um a lot of people swear by I think that's how you say it, spirulina powder. And so I would think that would give it a lovely shade of
Yeah,
green as well. I just
you
don't know if that would alter the flavor. I don't know enough about it.
it would alter the flavor
Mhm.
slightly, but not enough where you would complain about it.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Anything's better than this. This
Yeah,
looks like she took a
but
couple of, like,
you,
children's cereal flakes of some sort that was a weird color and tossed it in the batter.
but if this was anybody,
Uh-huh,
and this was you, and you was doing this for your
uh-huh.
child,
Yeah,
and you was doing it for St. Patrick's Day, you'd
uh-huh.
start to make it. You'd go, no, I want it greener, and you'd add a little bit more, and
Yes,
you'd go, no, I
exactly.
still want it greener, and you'd add a little bit more. This
Yeah.
is just like, we've mixed it, it's ready, we're just gonna go for it.
Yes. Now, I was gonna bring that up. My Gosling went through this phase where she was mermaid obsessed. I mean, aren't we all? Chef Matt, that explains your mermaid tattoo, right? You do have that mermaid tattoo.
Yeah, I've got it on my left buttock.
Well, I wouldn't know about that, Chef Matt. Don't start that rumor.
You told me to do it.
That's well, I did. I only bet you what $20, so I'm kind of
Well,
surprised, but okay.
$20 is $20.
That's right. We don't waste. That's right. But my kid went through a mermaid phase, and I remember they had the mermaid frozen waffles, and they were more this color, which I could almost justify because I guess mermaids lighter, blue, green, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not St. Patrick's Day, and this doesn't look tasty. But I will call your attention to this scene here because this is what a lot of people had trouble with. Is they say, look at the okay, look at what's going on here. It's a round, I don't know, waffle iron. Look at
Yeah.
the depth of the you're better at this than me, the teeth in there. And then look at the final product. They don't seem to match up super well. So and she only
So
has enough batter for one waffle, it looks like. So she just hand making batches of batter, I guess?
it looks like she's doing individual batches, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
so this is a waffle iron, and it's quite a sophisticated waffle iron, isn't it? Because I think this is the kind of one that you can flip halfway through cooking, which is pretty good. But
Okay.
if you look, it's got a cross down down it, hasn't it? So you can see that there's almost 4 compartments for waffles.
Uh-huh.
One of the interesting things about this is, as I was saying earlier, you've got Belgian waffle and you've got an American waffle. So
Mhm.
this would be categorized as a Belgian waffle. It's Belgian waffle because of the grid format that you've got there.
Mhm.
So Belgian waffles always have large pockets, large squares.
Yeah.
American waffles always they always have very small squares. So
Mhm.
that's how you tell the difference between them.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
here it doesn't look like there's quite enough batter
Uh-uh.
for the waffle iron that
No.
she's using. But then later on, miraculously it's oozing out the sides. And this,
Isn't that
if you look, the it doesn't look like it's going to fill the area that we're pouring it into.
You're exactly right. And if I've learned nothing else from you, Chef Matt, you talked about on our first recording together, that with Love Meghan is the key. One of your key things is consistency. You want people to have similar experiences, which makes sense because otherwise you're just throwing crap at the wall.
Yeah,
So, uh-huh.
consistency is a massive part of my life, and
Uh-huh.
it's something that I think is important to everybody. And but even from a home cook point of view,
Mhm.
you want to know that if you do something and you do it well, you want to be able to recreate it, and you want to be able to do it easily.
Mhm.
And you look and you go, there's virtually nothing left in that bowl, and there's a
Exactly.
lot of space in that there. But then when it does start to cook, you're going to have expansion.
Uh-huh.
It's going to rise up, which is how it gets filled. But it doesn't look like there's enough liquid to do the job that we're asking it to do.
It really does not. I agree completely. I'm staring and I'm thinking the same thing. It just doesn't it doesn't look right. And then shout out to John Witherspoon, friend of the channel. He when I had talked about this video before and he said that he has a similar waffle, is it waffle iron waffle maker? Um and he was pointing out that there's actually a piece that he believes is missing from this. It's a like a tray that would catch spills.
I think John's right, because when
Oh,
I first watched this, I was thinking there's something missing off the bottom. And if
oh,
you just look on the where the shadow is, you can
uh-huh.
see like a little indentation on the bottom plastic.
Uh-huh.
You can see this little indentation. That's where that tray would sit and lock into place. So I
Yeah.
think John's absolutely on the money there.
I think so too. So it's a small detail, but it's just kind of odd. It just tells me
It's probably been removed because it's not pleasing to the eye.
that's
It
what I
does.
think too.
So yeah, it's
Mhm.
probably just been removed because it wasn't pretty enough, or it wasn't. They didn't think it was going to be a requirement.
Right. Well, what's interesting is we had recently recorded on the Gwyneth Paltrow video, and what comes to mind there is I did notice we didn't even talk about is I mean, as you would, there's just a piece of parchment paper where she'd baked those beautiful biscuits.
Yeah,
And I actually appreciate that because that's a real thing. And now I know you're a chef, so you may do it differently, but I always think, how can I do the least amount of cleanup, the least amount of mess? Parchment paper, great. Put that on there, bake, easy peasy, no mess.
I
So
use a
yeah.
tremendous amount of greaseproof paper, parchment paper. I use it every single day of my life. One of the really interesting things that we do is we'll take greaseproof paper or parchment paper, we'll cut little squares out of it, and then whenever we're sautéing with pans that have lost their non-stick coating, we'll get a cold pan, put a sheet of greaseproof paper in, oil the greaseproof paper, then heat the pan, and then you can fry. But you're guaranteed no stick. You're guaranteed that it'll come out just the way you want it every single time.
That's a great tip. Wow. That's incredible. I would never have thought of that. That's very cool. And there's no issue cooking like that. I mean, obviously you do it, so that's amazing.
It's super efficient,
Uh-huh.
especially in the environment that I work in.
Mhm.
So we're very, very busy all of the time,
Mhm.
and sometimes you'll cook something perfectly, but
Mhm.
then as you turn it or as you're lifting the fish up, the skin will just slightly catch. And that's not the standard that we work to. So to
Uh-huh.
guarantee the consistency of the product, I always greaseproof the pans before, so that I'm guaranteeing that my perfect fish will still look perfect when I flip it.
Wow. Thank you for that tip. I've already learned so much more from you than I did the entirety of that Netflix disaster. So thank you.
I'm here to help.
That's right. That's so cool. My baking trick is always when I am baking, especially like a layer cake. I just like to bake. I cut the parchment paper in circle and just drop it right in there. So that way, no matter what, I don't have a problem. I don't have to try to fish the cake back out or whatever. So
when you bake, like say for instance, if you was going to make like a tray bake cake or something like that, or even if you were just going to make a round cake. So what I do, I mean, years ago, I used to spend a lot of time in the pastry department, and I used to make a lot of desserts. And one of the things that I've always done, I've done it for over maybe 15 years, is whenever I intend to bake something, all I do is I'll roll out the greaseproof paper. I'll roughly guesstimate the size that I want, and then I tear the greaseproof paper. I fill up the sink with lukewarm water. I screw the paper up into a ball, and I submerge the paper in the sink, and then I make whatever it is that I'm making. Halfway through, I take the plug out of the sink, I drain the water, and I'll leave the greaseproof paper in the sink. And then when I'm ready to bake, I just open up the greaseproof paper. You won't believe how versatile greaseproof paper is when it's wet. It is, you can form it into any shape. It literally, and I promise all of you, if you do this and try this once, you'll never do it a different way. It comes out and it feels like cotton. It feels like cloth. And you know how versatile or how flexible cotton and cloth can be. And it will just you'll literally just drop it into the tray and just push it, and it'll stick exactly where you've left it. Put the ingredients in over the top, and then bake it through the oven, and it comes out perfect every single time.
Oh my gosh. I had no idea you could do that. That's incredible.
We used to soak them. So we used to soak them, and we'd cut, because obviously doing the job that I do, all of my trays are exactly the same size, so we know exactly how big the greaseproof paper wants to be. So if we knew that we was going to do an extreme amount of baking tomorrow, we'd soak 30 or 40 sheets in the sink overnight. So as soon as we walked in the following day, we could pull the plug, start baking, and we're ready to go straight away.
That's incredible. Wow. Thank
It
you for that
is
tip.
such a good way of doing it. And anybody that's into baking, if you try it, thank me for it later. But it is incredible.
That is amazing. Thank you, Chef Matt, for that tip. That's incredible. Again, that's the kind of stuff where if she was actually trying to help people or teach people things along the way with her show, she could have done. And even, I don't expect that she would know that, but I'm saying the 30 some odd producers or however many on the Netflix, nobody, I'm sure there were chefs on standby there. Nobody thought to teach things like that. That's so interesting what you've just taught us. And she totally missed the mark, I think, on learning opportunities like that.
It's like they didn't want to share it.
Nope.
It's like whoever was there, they didn't want the audience to understand it, or to quite get it, or to quite be able to replicate it.
That's exactly, you so nailed it. Even on these videos here, again, we recently covered the Gwyneth of it all, and the difference is Gwyneth would show her oven. She was showing herself, with the eggs and different stuff. And sharing the experience with us. Whereas with Meghan does this stuff, it's about, look at me while I do these things. It's not a welcoming thing. It's not a joyous, welcoming occasion. I don't get the sense.
No, Gwyneth genuinely looked happy, didn't she? She looked at peace with herself and with her environment, and she looked like, one, she had zero fucks to give, and two, she didn't care about the consequence, or she wasn't doing it to make herself look good or to make herself look better, or it just seemed to be a very honest video.
That's exactly right. I think you're exactly right. I think so too. She did it for the love of it rather than I've got to get this content out. Yeah.
It looked like she enjoyed doing it. It looked like it was a little bit of fun. It looked like it were a little bit of fun, and she enjoyed that little bit of fun. And I quite enjoyed watching it.
I think so too. Yeah, maybe we'll do that separately. I'd like to have you back and we can maybe watch more of her videos and see what kind of things, because I think this is the thing she does sometimes.
Yeah,
So,
I think if you generally enjoy something and
mhm.
you're at that point where you can have a little bit of fun and you're happy, I think it's great.
I think so too. That's this channel for me. This is my happy place. Too bad I'm stuck talking to you, Chef Matt. I'm totally kidding.
I feel, I feel exactly the same about what I do for a living, you know, and it's like I've said so many times to so many different people over the years, and it's like, you know, there's something spiritual about going into work. You know,
Mhm.
it's like when you've done something as long as I've done, that it is your holy ground. You know, it's where you
Yeah,
find peace.
that's right.
It's where you're comfortable, and it's almost what you're made to do. So you're happy. You know, there's
Mhm,
something very spiritual about falling in love with something and
that's right.
choosing it as a career and
Mhm,
being good at it and
mhm.
training yourself to be good at it, where you're at peace when you're there.
That's exactly it, and with the joy comes a want to improve, a want to learn more things, and a want to share usually,
Yeah,
as you're
definitely,
expressing,
definitely.
yeah, and I
It,
think that's the keys that are missing from Megan's stuff.
I think knowledge is power, and I think I've said that
Mhm,
before. But I think that what we've got to do is we've got to be wise enough to be
mhm,
able to share that power and not be intimidated by it. So it's like you've got to pass your knowledge on, and you've got to pass your passion on, and it's something that I do on a daily basis where I try to inspire these chefs,
mhm.
and you know, they'll say things to me like, you know, I hope that one day I'm as good as you, and I always correct them and I say, one day you need to be better. You
Oh,
one day I want you to be better than this, because I can only take myself so far, but
mhm.
I've always had to do this. Whereas I'm giving you everything I've got, but you've got years and years after this. So it's like if you've got my knowledge now, imagine what you could become by the time you're my age.
That's incredible. That's very generous of you to share with people because I think, yeah, again, you run into some people like Megan that just don't. It's like you can feel that they're guarding things, and it's like, what? Why? And people ask me about YouTube. I'm not scared to tell them, go do. I'll watch you. You watch me. It's all fine. Like
I
nobody's
always
going to be the
I always
same.
I always think that you should be proud enough to be able to tell people and share things. And it's like if you've to do something and you've to lie about it, you probably shouldn't do it in the first place.
That's exactly it. I think so too, because again, it go full circle back to your consistency. You're not going to be consistently good at, whatever your videos or your cooking or your
No.
whatever it is. You're not going to be consistent.
It's funny, you know, because it's like all of everything that I've just said about, you know, like my safe space is my kitchen, you know, like it's where I find my peace and everything. And then it's like you step out into the normal world and you're a little bit intimidated and you're a little
Ugh.
bit scared, and it's like you don't quite belong.
Well, that's where
So,
the alcohol comes in, Chef Matt.
yeah,
Kick a few back, you'll feel good anywhere. You're fine. No, I can go back to the Megan video and see if we had more thoughts on that.
yeah,
So yeah, it looks like you were saying and not quite it's hard to tell. It doesn't look like it's enough batter based on what I'm seeing.
it doesn't, does it?
Mm-mm, it doesn't. And then enough to leak out of the side. I like how they ended that quickly so that way you can't see it. Now I'm
Yeah,
oh,
it looks like that somebody else there's somebody else there that's making more, doesn't it? And it looks
yeah.
like that's been topped up, but it's been topped up now a little bit too much. So I think
Yeah.
like they've realized there's not going to be enough here. Somebody's
Uh-huh.
quickly started making some more. They've topped it up off camera, but
Uh-huh.
now we've topped it up a little bit too much,
Yeah. I
and we've
think
got leakage.
uh-huh. That's right.
But you can see what John was saying there a little bit clearer, can't you?
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. That little
that little
mhm.
indentation in the bottom plastic,
Absolutely.
that's where his tray would normally sit.
Yep, I think so. I think you're right. Now, it's something I talked about before. She likes to have these quirky moments or what she sees as quirky moments. So it would not shock me at all if she said, okay, this is the side closer to camera. Let me pour a little extra, knowing that you're going to have this whoopsie. And it just comes across as like I'm trying to be relatable, but it, as usual, misses the mark. That's what I think.
I've never thought of it like that, but now you've said it, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? It's like, I'm relatable. We all make mistakes.
That's
Nobody's
it.
perfect. That's exactly, yeah. Until you
Because
said
if you
that,
watch her hand here, I might be dreaming, but I swear to God, watch her. She's not going to scoop it with her hand. I think she's telling the camera person, get this.
get this. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This.
I've never thought of it like that until you said it.
Well, I don't think of cooking things, so
Yeah.
we work well together, so it's good. But I've just studied her so much, which sounds insane, but I have, that I know that she likes to emulate people like Julia Roberts. That's one that comes up a lot. When you think of Julia Roberts, you think of her movies. It's usually like this, beautiful but quirky girl, the ha,
Yeah, yeah,
and even down to the ha ha ha. This is something that Meghan has adopted, is this pose that's,
yeah,
it's weird, but I'm saying, like, so this would be a Julia Roberts movie, like,
yeah.
cute guy, I'm cooking breakfast for you, ha ha ha, whoopsie, that kind of. So I think, and it just screams faults, but
This waffle iron's probably brand new, and that's why the tray's not been taken out of the box yet. It doesn't look like it's ever been used, does it? And that's something that we've seen repeatedly on everything that we've watched so far, where everything is brand new, straight out of the box. The only time it'll ever get used, and then it'll go back in its box, and it'll never be seen again.
that's exactly it. I was actually going to bring that up. I understand that, somebody like this is going to have probably 30 people cleaning your house, whatever, but there would just be like a little bit of a scorch mark or whatever, just wear and tear on the equipment, and it's just pristine. I agree.
There doesn't seem to be, and I've said this in previous things that we've watched together, but a waffle iron gets really hot. And when we first started watching it, when she started to pour the batter in, you heard a little sizzle, didn't you? When the cold batter hit the warm waffle iron, you heard a little sizzle. Well, now the lid's closed. So what we should be seeing is steam exiting the outside, and it's like we can see nothing. And you just look and you go, the temperature that it takes to cook a waffle in that time, you're probably looking at about 200 degrees thereabouts. You'd expect to see some steam rising from that waffle iron. Exactly the same. If you've got a toaster at home or one of those toasty makers, you put your bread, you put your filling, you close the lid, a couple of minutes, you can see all this steam and you can hear it hissing, and you know that it's doing its job. And you can see nothing here.
You're so spot on. And again, where I know Meghan is about the look of it versus the functionality. So it would not shock me if there's not even an outlet right here. She just knows this is the lighting. Yeah.
It's not even on. It's not even on.
Exactly. It's probably that the lighting is better here. She thinks she looks better here, whatever it is. She is much more likely to go for that than, well, crap, I have to move my camera over here, like that kind of thing. So
yeah,
wouldn't shock me at all if they were already cooked and then this is just for the film. Yep, wouldn't shock me. So she gestured toward it, and then let's scoop in front of it. I mean, not. I was going to say a little bit of baggy clothes, but that, whatever. It's her house. I guess it's not a big deal. So little hands alluding to kids. Do you want to drink what's in this cup, Chef Matt? This nuclear waste in the cup. Do you want to drink that?
I'm really curious to see what that would be.
Absolutely. Sludge? I don't know.
I was thinking, is it
batter? I don't know.
What was it that you were saying on one of your things? And it was it matcha?
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, matcha. Yeah, that's of the devil.
I wondered whether it might be that,
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But I don't know. It's just but if you look, it's the identical color to the pancake batter.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this could just be the spinach water for all we know.
And now that you say that, let's say it was a kid's whatever milk with some sort of coloring in it. Fine. There would be something in the walls of this.
Yeah. It'd run down the sides, wouldn't it? It'd run down as you was drinking it, and it's quite foamy on the top. So as you was drinking it, you'd expect this residue to almost sit on the sides of the mug. So it's like it's like we've just poured a tiny little bit of whatever's left
That's
of
it.
what we've used in the pancake batter, put a
Uh-huh.
straw in it, and then said, just hold that straw. I just want to take a picture of it real quick.
That's it. That's exactly it. Give it a little stir up, whatever. Give it some motion. Yeah, I think so.
I'm really curious of what this green stuff is. It's like
Yeah.
what is it? Where's it from?
She's implying, I believe, again, in my opinion, she seems to be implying because at the very end, she seems to have some sort of like green smoothie next to hers because she points out which one is her waffle. So I think she's trying to say, look at me, I'm a great mom. I get my kids to drink fruits and vegetables, whatever turns it this color. I don't even know.
I don't know
Um,
what could possibly
I,
take that color.
I don't know. But that's my guess is that she wants us to think that. But what actually I think is that, yeah, it's like, well, crap, we have this kid here. We need him in the shot. Let's have him stir up something. Oh, I got a little of this batter left. Let's just pour this in a cup.
Yeah, just pour some of that batter in. Don't whatever you do, don't drink it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I don't know. I don't know. So there's that. And then there's this. Now, what do you immediately think of when you see these, Chef Matt? Would you serve this in your restaurant, Chef Matt? Can I order this at your restaurant?
This,
Yeah, you work in a
this
prison.
picture is one of the things that really want me to talk to you about,
Yeah, I
because
know, right? I know.
I find this to be so offensive, because
Oh,
you've got to look and you've got to say, right, okay, there's so many things wrong with that.
yes.
So we've watched the process, we've seen the batter, we've seen the waffle iron, we've seen the bars in the waffle iron that I've already mentioned. We've
Yes.
seen that it's a Belgian waffle iron because it's got big squares. And then you look at this and you go, that waffle iron did not 100% cook that waffle, because there's no bars. So there's no, it's not cut into four, and the bars would give you the groove to cut it
Yeah.
into four. But look how opaque it is. It's almost obverse in color.
Uh-huh.
And it's like over from a chef's point of view, like we would call something that's very pale obverse, which is like a French term for like an omelette. So an omelette should always be runny and obverse, but it's so pale, and you wouldn't expect that sort of colorization from a waffle iron that's running at the temperature that it's running at. So we've either been a little bit scared of the waffle iron and we've turned down the temperature right down. But we've got that, which will, it's not going to eat well. Waffles need to be cooked extremely quickly. They should normally be crispy on the outside. I would expect them to be golden brown in color, super soft in the middle, loads of air, very light in the center, but golden brown around the outside. I mean, from my point of view, I don't think there's anything wrong with a little bit of a darker edge, because the edges will always cook a little bit more. So darker edge, golden brown throughout, perfect. There's nothing. It's not come from that machine. There's no color. It doesn't look like it's fully cooked in areas.
Yeah.
And
To me, I see this and I think like my kid likes the Eggo frozen waffles. It looks like that with somehow dusting some coloring on it, but not getting in the grooves. I don't know.
no, it's just even down to the kiwi and the blueberries, and you just go like, you could have done so much more with it. You could have done so much more.
Yes. Let's slap some marmalade on it. Make it St. Patrick's Day if you're really going, something. Yeah.
But then one of the things that I don't like about this image, and it's something that I'm really against, is this, and I'm not against it for the home cook. I'm not against it for busy people, but from a professional point of view, this looks like that squirty UHT cream that you get in those canisters that's got
Sure.
and there's a place for that stuff,
Sure.
and if you was going to do this
Mhm.
at the position that Meghan's in,
Mhm.
after she's just done this Netflix series, and she wants people to take us seriously. And I get this is a little bit of fun, and I
Sure.
get that it's for St. Patrick's Day,
Mhm.
and that's great. But you just look and you go, It's so bad. It's so bad
So
because
bad.
it's like it's squirty cream out of a tin,
Mhm.
couple of blueberries. We've not done a great job at chopping that kiwi fruit. You know, it's got
Yeah.
we kind of started out really well, and then we've got three really square edges, haven't we?
You're so spot on. And I'm thinking about again, the kid might find it funny because it's a face shape, but you just it's not balanced. I'm talking about just on the plate. The plating is kind of odd. Again, a home, I get it. I don't know. It just doesn't look good. Maybe to a kid it does. It just does. I don't want to eat this.
Everything's got its place, hasn't it? And it's like
Yes.
this UHT squirty cream that's
Yeah.
got loads of gas in it. You know,
Sure.
from a home cook, or you know, somebody that's extremely busy. If it was just a little bit of fun, I get it.
Sure.
But for somebody that's earning the money that she's earning, that's trying
Mhm.
to build a business around food, that's trying to that's got a TV series, trying to teach people how to cook and give people an ethos of how to cook and how to live a good life. And you
Uh-huh.
just look and you go, that's not it.
That's
That's
not
not it.
it.
And it would have taken a couple of minutes to whip some real cream up, you know,
Mm.
and it would have looked great. It would
Mhm.
have probably tasted even better. Your kids would have appreciated it even more.
I think you're so right. That's exactly it. I would not fault anybody at home doing this, but somebody with a Netflix cooking show or whatever that thing was. Yeah. It's weird.
Exactly. But you like there's nothing there that you can
Right.
say has been done properly. You know, like in my opinion, the waffle hasn't come from the waffle iron. It's
Exactly.
probably not the same batter. It's
Uh-huh.
very undercooked,
Uh-huh.
probably quite doughy. We've got UHT cream. We've got a very badly sliced kiwi. The only things that you could say about it is that there's two good-looking blueberries on it. You
Yeah,
know,
the
other than
things she
that,
didn't make. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
But I mean, it's
Even
not
the
even
kiwi bugs me because I think that's gonna be soggy under that spot. Yeah.
it's not even centered in the plate, is it? So you
Ah,
know, it's not even centered. So if you were going to do it, you knew you was going to take a picture of it afterwards,
uh,
you'd make sure it was in the center of the plate. You'd
yeah.
make sure that the kiwi was cooked properly,
Uh-huh. You're spot
and
on.
you'd be
Yeah.
proud to take a picture of it, and you'd be proud to support St. Patrick's Day.
That's exactly it. I'm sure, Chef Matt, when you cook at home for your family, it's different than cooking at your restaurant. You're probably not videoing the home meals to put those on your professional page.
Well, one thing that I can always
Mhm.
guarantee when I cook at home, I put the same love and I put the same passion into the food that I cook,
Mhm.
and it tastes good.
Yes.
I don't worry about presentation when I'm at
Sure.
home. I
Uh-huh.
don't, you know, and I don't think my family want me to mess around with the food when
Sure.
I'm at home. You know, they're not that they know it's going to taste good. They know that they're hungry. They know that dinner time was supposed to be at 5 o'clock. They
Right.
want to know why I'm still in the kitchen messing around with the food and why it's not hot.
Right. And you're like, "I'm busy making a banana split." It's not a
Yeah.
banana split. Yeah. Oh, goodness. All right. So I'll hit play. There you go. And then here's hers. That it's tiny. It says, oh, happy St. Patrick's Day. Somewhere she says something about it being her breakfast. So it's like, okay. So I'm guessing there's the green smoothie that she was trying to pass off. But even that does not look the same as what was in that kid's cup.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Because you can see, just as you said, it looks like
You,
3 sips have been taken out of it, so you
yeah,
have
you've
the
you've got residue going down the
Uh-huh,
side of the glass, and
exactly.
so somebody's clearly
Mhm.
drank from that. But
Yeah.
what is interesting about that is if you look, there's two different colors there. So you've got the color that's halfway up the glass, and then you've
Uh-huh,
got a very dark color, and that's either the foam or that's the residue. But
mhm.
the color contrast isn't quite right, is it?
You're right. You're exactly right. Huh. What's that about? Any guesses? I know we don't know, but are you what
I don't know because if,
Yeah.
if it if it was all the same batch, then you'd expect all of it to be the same color. So
Yeah, so it's just
it's
mixing into it.
clearly two
Yeah,
different colors, isn't it?
right.
So you can you can only imagine that it's two different products. You know, maybe
Absolutely.
I don't know. I'd love to know what it is. I'd love to know
Yeah.
what it is.
But even the waffles themselves, maybe I'm crazy, but I don't see those as the same waffles she served the kids. That
No,
looks more
the,
like the Belgian, like you were saying, yeah.
so these ones are the ones that she made on the waffle line. So
Okay, that's what I thought. That's that
so you
mark,
can
yeah.
so you can see that you've got the bar.
Yeah.
The bar has given you 4 pieces of waffle. So all
Yeah.
you would have to do when he came out of the waffle machine is you would just naturally tear it, and you
Okay.
would get the 4 pieces. You
Okay,
can
good.
see that you've got the round edge where the strawberry is. So
Mhm.
that has come from the waffle iron. But you can also see a very, very small amount of color, but you can see a little bit of golden brown
You
on the
can,
top
yeah.
one. So
Mhm.
it's nice to see that we have got a little bit of golden brown, but I would say that needs a good 3 to 4 minutes longer in the waffle iron to make the perfect waffle.
Yeah, yeah, huh. Weird.
Is there any way of zooming in on that image?
I can't in this program. Let me see if I
No.
have. If you give me 2 seconds, I can make that happen. Let's see.
It's just interesting to see the consistency of it, you know,
Yeah,
because it does look undercooked. So I'm just wondering whether it's still quite doughy.
let's see. Here it is. Yeah, it does look. Let's see. I think it's okay. Got it. Okay. Here we go. Done. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So I can zoom it in and show it to the screen, or I can actually send it. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to just put myself here. Let me get you. Hold on. Back on the. There you go. Okay. Does that help at all?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the structure's not right, is it? The structure doesn't seem
No,
right of it.
it
It
doesn't.
it's it seems like it it doesn't seem like it's been sat for long enough. So it seems to be very dense on the bottom, but then you can see the air in the like halfway up. You can see
Uh-huh.
the pockets of air that's gone through it, but it looks very, very dense. So I do think that will be undercooked when you come to eat it.
I might be nitpicking even the picture itself. Let me get it back up there. Let's see. Hold on. Um, yeah, the curvature of the waffle even kind of bothers me a little bit. It may just be the way it's sitting, but it just looks like it's sagging on the
It's
plate.
just it's floppy.
Yeah.
It needs another 3 to 4 minutes in that waffle iron. It's come out too early,
Yeah.
or the waffle iron's not hot enough.
Okay.
I mean, I think I think if you actually look, the waffle iron that when she first started to use it, there was a little black dial on the top of it, and I
Uh-huh.
think that was the control for the temperature.
Okay.
But you can't see what temperature it was sat on.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, it's definitely undercooked. It's
Yeah.
very limp. It's very opaque.
Mhm.
Not much color. It looks dense.
Mm. So again, I think my guess is it just looks like she set this up, take some pretty pictures of it. It's not pretty, but some pictures of it, and then it just gets tossed. Nobody's eating that, I don't think.
It's a relief to see that there's no dried flowers on it. But then,
Not yet.
but
Oh,
then you look and you go on the cream at the back of the strawberries. There's a couple of things, and you go, I wonder what they are.
oh, well, allow me. Here you go. Oh gosh. Guess what, Chef Matt?
Are they dried flowers?
I think so. Allow me. Hold on.
Oh,
Let's see. Hold on. Oops. Okay, ready? It sure looks like it.
oh,
The
the dried
reason I think,
flowers are back.
yeah.
The dried flowers are back.
See? I think
Yeah,
because of this here and this
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. There
Oh,
was definitely something on there, wasn't there? On that cream, you could definitely see it, but I couldn't
yeah.
quite make it out.
I thought maybe chocolate curls or something. Yeah, no, it appears to be.
I think they're flowers.
Oh,
You can't
yeah, no.
you
I
can't
think they
see
are
Meghan
flowers.
putting chocolate sprinkles on her pancakes, can you?
No.
She's too healthy for that.
Annoying? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought I was holding out hope that's what it was, but nope, you're right. It's dried flowers.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
oh, and
It's a bit disappointing, that, isn't it?
it just
It's
grosses
like
me
a,
out because you're gonna have this crap in your
but
teeth,
it's
and
like a reoccurring theme, isn't it? Yeah, I'll have flowers for breakfast. I'll have flowers for lunch. I'll have flowers for dessert. I'll have
Mhm.
flowers in my cocktail.
I'm not trying to be gross, but I don't love bathroom humor, but I can't imagine that it's gonna be full of flowers in their sewer system, their septic tank, right?
Yeah,
Gross.
it's going to smell like pot puree in a bathroom, isn't it?
Oh man. Now I'm wondering now. I thought those were ice cubes in there, but there's probably flowers in there too. Oh,
You're probably right. You're probably right.
oh gross. Nobody wants that. Nobody.
Not for
Oh.
breakfast. Not for breakfast.
It's so good. Sorry.
There's
Yeah.
got to.
No.
You'd hope that it wouldn't be a thing, would you?
Yeah. And just the idea. Okay, so she put the teeniest little dollop of whipped cream. Great, no problem. When you bite into that, do you want a crunch? No, probably not. Not. Ugh.
Don't you think it's sad though, because the whole thing of this was to support St. Patrick's Day, but
Mhm.
we've had to throw something in brand,
Oh,
or
always, yeah.
or we've had to throw something in that you can buy from the shop, and
Mhm.
it's sad because if you was truly supporting it on
Mhm.
that one day, you wouldn't need to, because it was for a better cause,
That's
and
exactly it.
we've still had to incorporate it in somewhere.
That's exactly it. You're right. That's what makes me wonder, and again, I mean, you're better at this than I am, so I have no idea, but I actually truly wondered if she just didn't use her own hold on, sorry. I can't get you back up. Okay, there you go. Her own mix. I understand the difference with crepes and but I just wondered if she just used her own batter or something because she's selling that. It's like crepe. I think a crepe and waffle mix, and I guess you would just change the consistency.
That's completely viable, So
Mhm.
if you were if it was like a one for all mix,
I think
you
that's
you
what
might
she's selling. Yeah. Uh huh.
but you might say, if you was going to make a crepe, use 1 pint of milk to 500 grams of powder.
Uh
If you're
huh.
going to make a waffle, use 480 grams, oh sorry, 480 mils of milk to 500 grams of product.
Okay.
So that from a ratio point of view,
Sure.
you'd use a lot less liquid for a
Mhm.
waffle than you would for a crepe.
But she on her as ever, even though the site's not actually selling it yet under the coming soon, she is advertising a crepe mix and those damn dried flowers. So it backs up and underlines your point, which is this is just a merching thing. This is
Yeah.
a look at me and a merching as everything
Yeah,
else is.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, and it's everything's got strawberries on it, hasn't it? It's like
So
there's
weird.
so many elements, and it's just like, enough with the fruit. Enough with the fruit.
Exactly.
We
I'm
all we
surprised
all
there's
love we all love fruit, but it's
yeah,
everywhere, isn't it? And it's like, yeah, I think this is her safe space. I think this is what she's
that's it.
comfortable with. She's
Mhm.
comfortable with chopping up a strawberry. She's a little bit intimidated by making a waffle or a crepe.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the liquid is in the back, but we're intrigued by it. I'm very intrigued why it's two different colors, but it's one drink.
Yeah. I think it's been my guess is it's, like, sat out and separated or something.
Yeah, I'm just really disappointed with the waffle, because, like,
Mhm. That's the star of the show, and it sucks.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you're almost paying homage, aren't you, to St.
Mhm.
Patrick's Day, and it's like, just do it properly. That
Yeah.
that means a lot to so many different people.
Certainly.
You know, put your heart and soul into it. Leave it in there 3 to 4 more minutes. Give it a
Mhm.
nice colorization. Make sure it's cooked all the way through. If you if you was going to eat a waffle, like, you know, there's almost like a tradition to eating a waffle, isn't there, or to serve a waffle.
Mhm.
And you know, you'd probably put the fruit on top of the waffle, you'd probably put the cream over the fruit, and it'd be great. And it's like,
Yeah.
this is just, it's been done so that you can almost see and just visually look at it.
Yeah, I 1000% agree. And you know what? As you're saying that, my mind's wandering and I keep thinking the same, like, why the dried flowers and the strawberries besides merching? It's because she has no, in my opinion, she doesn't seem to have skills to back up what she's acting like she can do.
No,
So she needs party tricks to
I would
try to make it better.
I would be so happy if you said, "Oh, you know, come round to my house. I'm making waffles, and
Oh,
I've picked some fresh strawberries out of the garden, and I've just whipped some really good cream." And then, oh, when I came round to your house, and there was these like really limp, like opaque, almost waffles, not quite sure. Then you go, well, are those, is that one strawberry and that tiny little dollop of cream for me to use on throughout all of this waffle, because
yeah.
there's so much waffle and so little fruit and so little cream. And it's like, right, okay, I'm 2 mouthfuls in. I'm 2 mouthfuls in. I've got no strawberry left.
Yeah.
I've got no cream left.
And the cream I do have is covered in flowers.
Yeah, I've got bits in my teeth. and, and
And this weird drink. Yeah.
the only waffle, the only thing that's left on my plate is really dense, undercooked waffle with nothing to help it go down.
Oh, no, no. Oh, yum. Appetizing. So, Chef Matt, will you be serving this in your restaurant?
A big fat no.
No. Okay. Oh goodness. Oh, I'm shocked to hear you say that.
There are times, you know, when I talk to you and we do the food,
Mhm.
and it upsets me, and I do get to the point where I want, you know, like I was saying earlier about, like, uh, I'll get inspired by something, so I'll go and I'll work and work and work and work until I've
Mhm.
got to the point where I'm happy.
Mhm.
And there's been so many times where I've spoken to you and done things with you
Mhm.
where I've wanted to go and recreate something and know that I can do it, or do it properly at least.
Yeah,
So that I
absolutely.
know that I'm not going crazy.
So what you're
This
saying is your family will be eating a lot of waffles for the next couple months.
this is one of the things. It's like, this is how my brain works. And it's like,
Mhm.
I know I can make a really good Belgian waffle, and
Yeah.
you're looking, you go, I know that it's probably spinach, but I want to know that I'm right, because
Uh-huh.
the not knowing that you're right really upsets me.
Yeah, yeah. But it's Megan. So I don't I wouldn't even say that it's spinach. I would say she took 2 drops of food coloring, added it in, and just didn't go hard enough with food coloring.
You're probably right. I just don't
I
understand.
have this
I don't
feeling whatever's
I
the
don't
easiest.
I don't understand, if that was the case, why you wouldn't, you know, like, say for instance, if you had food coloring and you put 2 drops in and you started mixing it, you went, no, I
Yeah.
want it darker. I don't understand why you wouldn't go back and do more.
That's
It's all,
exactly it. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
with it being Megan, you almost think that she had like a handful of spinach and thought, yeah, that'll make 4 waffles. But
Mhm.
she didn't have any more. But so she'd already committed.
That's it. That's exactly it, and that's just Megan. It's the quiche all over again. "Oh, I like mine runny." No, you do not.
Yes.
Nobody does. You're just being lazy.
It's a guessing game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's either definitely underdone, and a lot of what we've seen, it's that insecurity of not trusting your own ability to be able to say, no, I'm going to let that cook a little bit more.
Mhm. Yeah, I think you're spot on. So I had, again, a friend of the show, John Witherspoon, on one of my shows, and he was talking about one of the things that he loved is Julia Child. He loves her cooking, and one thing brilliant about her is she would open it up and say, "Oh no, I messed that up," and that's kind of the beauty in it, is
Yeah.
admitting, "I've got this wrong. Here's how to fix it," or "I've got this wrong. Let's do it again." Whatever it is, you know. And yeah, Megan's just like, "I like it runny." No, you're being lazy.
We all, every one of us makes mistakes, and
Mhm.
it's not like you're not judged for the mistakes you make. You're
Mhm.
judged for the learning of the mistakes that you've made, and I
That's
think that's important to all of us. And it's like, if you are going to make a mistake, own up to it. You know,
yeah,
like, you almost wear it like a badge of honor,
that's
because every mistake that you make throughout your life will make you stronger.
that's right. And that's an actual show I would like to watch because I'm perfectly capable of messing up my stuff at home. I can do that. I do that constantly. Show me how to fix it if I mess it up.
we we all make mistakes, and it's like,
Mhm.
even me with my experience, it's like we are that, like, I still find myself, and I'll do something, and it's like every now and again I'll make a mistake, and you to be proud of it, and you to wear it like a badge of honor. And it's like, you my team sometimes tease me about it, because I'll make a mistake, and but then it's like, you you want to know why you've made the mistake, or you want to break it down and realize, or make everybody know that yes, you've made a mistake, but these are the reasons why, so as that we don't make these mistakes again.
Exactly. You're exactly right. That's how we learn and grow and get better. But, it's funny. It just came screaming back to me. Again, I apologize. I made you watch the With Love Megan, but um, even to the mistake, it's not a mistake. I think it was all planned, but of Mindy Kaling saying Meghan Markle. And she's like, you keep calling me that. She she can't even let a friend make a mistake. I don't think it's a mistake, but you know what I mean? A hypothetical mistake with her name. Like, it's just everything is militant, but it's wrong.
You'd
It's just
brush that
very
off, wouldn't you?
off-putting.
Yeah, you'd brush that off.
Yeah.
If there was a film crew there, and they were getting paid
Uh-huh.
to film you, yeah, and somebody did say something that you didn't quite like,
Yeah,
you'd almost let it wash over you, wouldn't you?
that's it.
You wouldn't want to call somebody out on it. And if you did call them out on it, you'd probably wait until they'd finish filming, and then you'd go, don't do that, because I don't like it. I'm not that anymore. I'm this.
Yeah.
But it's like, to do it. It was all. It almost, to me. It was almost like it was part of the script, and they wanted that opportunity to say it.
I think so too, but I think she handled it like such a bee because if they're genuinely friends, well, for instance, right before we hit record, I messed up and called you Chef Mike by accident. You could have gotten very angry at me. Instead, we made jokes and we rolled on. No big deal.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's funny, isn't it? It happens to all of us, and I think
Yeah.
we we've got to enjoy it, haven't we? We've got
Mhm.
to enjoy what we're doing,
I
and it's like, while we're enjoying it, we might as well have a laugh.
Exactly, that's right, Chef CD. Oh, goodness. Well, any final thoughts on that monstrosity as we wrap this up? Anything can I be there when you tell your wife and child that you will be, making this for the well, this actually looks better than what they serve the kids, I think, but can I be there when you tell your wife and child this is their breakfast?
I'm not sure they'll eat it. I'm not sure
Yeah.
they'll eat it.
Would they be more likely to eat the waffles or drink whatever's in that mystery cup?
I think.
They'll just eat the cream and move on, yeah.
Yeah. I think we might find that the blueberries and the kiwis gone, but the rest of it is just left on the side.
Yeah, can't blame them there. Oh, man. Any final thoughts as we wrap this up, Chef Matt?
It just makes me sad. It makes me sad that people have these opportunities in life, and they don't embrace the
Mhm,
opportunities that they're given.
mhm.
There's so many talented people out there, and there's so many people that are full of passion,
Yeah,
and they pass by, and then somebody that's given a spotlight, and you just look and you go, it's thousands and thousands of people that would kill for that opportunity,
that's right.
and you're almost wasting the time that you've been given.
That's absolutely it. It's funny because totally different professions here, and I say the exact same thing. I would kill for the opportunity. I started this because of my love for the royal family, and so I would kill for the opportunity she had to live in England and to work with them and to be a part of all of it, and then just to piss it away like nobody matters and nothing matters. It just that's honestly what drives me with this, and So it's just funny. Now it's crossed into your profession as well. So she's just ticking everybody off.
The interesting thing is that from a profession point of view, whatever it is that you do in life, and you've got to look and you've got to say, this is now her profession, right? This is how she makes her money. But for the rest of us, for the normal person that has to go to work and has to do these things and works damn hard and has to train and dedicate a certain amount of their lives in order to be able to feed their families.
That's
and
right.
you look and you go, if this is your job and your income, why aren't you at least trying? Why aren't you where like, yes, you're portraying a passion, but I'm not seeing a passion. You're talking and telling me that you're full of passion and love, and this is how you express it. But I don't see it in the food that you're serving. I don't see it in the way that you cook it.
That's exactly it. But I don't see in anything she does, honestly. It's just across. I couldn't tell you something that she's passionate about because she just doesn't. I think she just is incapable of showing it. I don't know. It's weird.
Love, food is a great way of showing love, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said earlier, one of the things that got me into this was the way that food brought people together, and I truly believe that it does bring people together. And it's like there's so many memories of food that correspond with happiness, and it's a joy to me. And you look and you go, that's the way that Meghan talks about it.
Yeah.
But you don't
Doesn't follow
see it.
through.
You
That's
don't
right.
see it.
Exactly. Yeah.
She's expecting her reputation and her fame to almost carry her through it, where people are just grateful to be part of it. And I think a couple of people on the Netflix series actually basically said to her, I didn't even realize you knew that I existed. I'm so grateful to be invited. And it's like you can see there's an old saying, isn't it, about riding the coattails, and it's almost like we're still riding the coattails
Oh,
of
yeah.
what was given to you that you abused.
Absolutely.
It makes me sad.
Oh, 1,000%. Yep. And again, that seems to transcend no matter what your profession is or no matter what. If you're watching it, I think that's a feeling a lot of us get. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if nothing else, they've succeeded in bringing everybody together to say, what is wrong with these two? Yeah.
Exactly.
Wild. Well, as always, Chef Matt, my most sincere thank you for your time and for your expertise and your knowledge. Normally, this is where I'd ask my guests, how can we support you? But you don't have public social media, so we'll try not to stalk you too much. We'll see you in New Zealand sometime.
No, it's nice just to read the comments. I think there's some really nice comments out there, and I've always considered myself to be a bit geeky when it comes to food, but it's like reading the comments. It's nice that people haven't seen me in that light.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. And I think the feedback is well deserved. And so many people said they want you to have a Netflix show. So I think that's incredible.
Or do green waffles.
Yes, I think you and I should have a show where I'm the disaster and you fix it, and I'll make fun of you while we do.
The thing is with the next Netflix show that she did, then if she'd have done it humbly, and if she'd invited some amazing chefs from around the area or people that have inspired her, and it was almost like they're gonna come, they're gonna do the cooking, and she's almost going to just be a helping hand or maybe ask them questions. And I think that could have been really inspiring, and I think it could have got a lot of people motivated, because it's like you asking me questions. You ask the right question, you're gonna get a good response. And I think that would have been a really interesting watch, because then we'd have been inspired by creative chefs from the area, and would have learnt new techniques, new trends. And she was just there as a bit of moral support, a little bit of a helping hand, but she was there to ask the questions. You know, how many grams have you put into this? What would you recommend to do with that? Have you got any cooking techniques that you could recommend for the home cook if they was going to try and recreate this dish at home? And you ask the right questions, you're gonna get a really good show.
That's exactly it. And I see it as my job as host, if you will, is to try to bring the best out of you and to shut up sometimes and to learn from, talented people like yourself. I don't think she thinks like that or is capable, truthfully.
I don't think she wanted it. I
Yeah.
think that she was in a position where she was like, "You're in my house. They're
Yeah.
my rules. You
Exactly.
do as I tell you,
Mhm.
and that's enough of it." And
That's
there
yeah.
was a couple of times when you watch it, weren't you, where it was a little
Mhm.
bit cringy, where
Yeah.
she cut people off, and it was like there was talking too much, and the show was
Mhm.
about her and not them.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Whether it be with her words or her actions, her standoff personality is very odd. Yeah, very off-putting.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So I hope that next time you have guests in your kitchen, you make them feel very uncomfortable and scold them less. Start with
just
your wife and child. Yeah.
just start throwing food across the kitchen at them.
Oh, yeah, that'd go really well, I'm sure. But again, Chef Matt, thank you for your time. Thank you for everything. Um, I guess so we could leave comments for Chef Matt. What did you enjoy most? If there's more content to be had out of Chef Matt, what would you most like to see? Um, can we please get a channel from Chef Matt? Maybe encourage him in the comments, whatever you want to leave, and we'll make sure to pass those along to you. So as always, thank you for everything. We look forward to harassing you again soon, Chef Matt. We appreciate you.
I'll look forward to it.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Excellent. Thank you. Bye.